welcome to the Overtime Exhaustion Series. This is a series where we just keep going. We're exhausted, we're tired, we're already done 100 Navy SEAL burpees. And we're gonna keep working. So you already know the body has been drained, all the muscle energy and all that, well at least it's trying to be drained. But we're gonna see what we got in this tank and we're just gonna get to it. We're about to do a full body dumbbell workout. You already know. And we're about to get it in. So let's enjoy and let's beast up.
Faith is strong while your actions are weak. Faith is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move in spite of it. Waiting until you feel fearless is not faith. That's comfort seeking. Faith moves when things are unclear. Faith builds when there's no blueprint. Faith speaks when there's no guarantee anyone will listen. And it keeps moving even when the outcome is uncertain because the direction came from God. You cannot say you trust God and still refuse to move. Obedience is the evidence of trust. If he said go, you go. If he said build, you build. If he said speak, you speak. Faith is not found in feelings, it's found in follow through. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. And disobedience always puts your breakthrough on pause. There's a reason the Bible is full of action words. Walk by faith, fight the good fight, run the race, lay hold of eternal life. Faith is a verb. It is a movement, a discipline, a lifestyle. It doesn't sit in the background hoping something will happen. It leans forward, prepares, takes risks, and expects God to meet it at the place of action. The enemy loves inactive faith. As long as you're believing but not doing, he knows you're not a threat. He knows there's no manifestation coming. Because as long as your faith stays in your head and not in your hands, nothing changes. But the moment you act, the moment you step, the moment you push, that's when power is released. When you believe for something but never move, you remain in theory. Theory doesn't transform lives, execution does. That business plan won't change your life until you launch. That message won't reach anyone until you speak. That calling won't fulfill its purpose until you take the first uncomfortable step. You can pray all day, but until you act, your faith is just noise. Faith is the currency of the kingdom. But obedience is the transaction. You can have a pocket full of faith, but if you never spend it, if you never apply it through action, you'll never access what God has for you. Believing God for increase, show him you're ready by managing what you already have. Believing for healing, speak life and walk in alignment with health. Faith always produces corresponding action. Every move you make in faith builds momentum in the spirit realm. It may feel small to you, but in God's economy, every act of obedience is multiplied. The 5 loaves and 2 fish didn't feed the multitude until they were given. The widow's oil didn't multiply until she started pouring. God works with what you move. The longer you delay your movement, the more your faith shrinks. Unused faith atrophies. It grows weak from disuse. It becomes more talk than truth. But the more you move, the more your faith grows. Action feeds faith. It makes it stronger, bolder, sharper. And each time you obey, you create a track record of God's faithfulness that makes it easier to trust him the next time. Some people are asking God for more while doing nothing with what he already gave them. They want elevation without movement, overflow without obedience, promotion without preparation. But God doesn't bless passivity, he blesses participation. He wants you in the process, not just cheering from the sidelines. If you truly believe the promise, you prepare for it, you position yourself for it, you align your life with it. Faith builds the ark before the rain comes. Faith steps out of the boat before the water solidifies. Faith doesn't wait for the conditions to be perfect. It creates the conditions through movement. You cannot stay still and expect things to shift. God is not a genie. He partners with action. And your first step might not move the mountain, but it will move you. And that's the power of faith in motion. It doesn't just change the situation. It changes you from the inside out. Discomfort is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. Most people run from it, avoid it, or try to numb it. But discomfort is not your enemy, it's your invitation. It is the doorway to growth, the threshold between where you are and where you're called to be. Everything you desire on the other side of your prayers, purpose, breakthrough, expansion, greatness, will demand that you walk through discomfort to receive it. We are conditioned to crave comfort. We like the familiar, the predictable, the controllable, but comfort is deceptive. It can feel like safety when in reality it's often a cage. Comfort can lull you into complacency. It can trick you into believing that survival is success, but God didn't call you to survive, He called you to thrive. And thriving requires stretching. Destiny never shows up wrapped in ease. It shows up in challenge. It shows up in resistance. It shows up in those moments when quitting would be easier than continuing, but something inside you knows that quitting would mean forfeiting the future. The doorway to your next level is never lined with pillows. It's lined with pressure. Growth demands resistance. Just like a muscle must be torn to be built, your character, your capacity, and your calling must be tested to be developed. Discomfort is the gym where your spirit trains. It's where your will gets stronger. It's where your obedience becomes solid. Without discomfort, there is no development, only delay. The people who accomplish the most in life are not those who have the easiest path. They're the ones who are willing to be uncomfortable for the sake of their calling. They don't avoid pain, they use it. They don't wait for perfect conditions, they act in imperfect ones. They know that progress is born in pressure, not in passivity. You will never find destiny hiding in your comfort zone. It lives in the unknown. It calls you into deeper waters. It asks you to risk being seen, risk being misunderstood, risk being stretched, and yes, it will be uncomfortable. But that discomfort is not punishment, it's preparation. It's God molding you for what you asked Him for. Every level of elevation comes with a requirement. You have to leave behind what's familiar. You have to let go of what no longer fits. That's uncomfortable, but you can't hold on to old mindsets while trying to walk into new assignments. Discomfort forces you to confront those pieces of you that can't go with you to the next level. There's a reason why people often say they feel like they're being pressed before breakthrough comes. Because pressure precedes purpose. The crushing comes before the calling fully manifests. Just like olives must be crushed to produce oil, and grapes must be pressed to produce wine, your anointing is often released in the place of discomfort. Don't despise the discomfort. Lean into it. Ask what it's teaching you. Let it reveal where you're still holding back. Let it show you the parts of your faith that are still untested. Discomfort has a way of exposing what's weak, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. It brings you face to face with your limitations so you can lean deeper into God's strength. Avoiding discomfort is how you stay average. Embracing discomfort is how you step into greatness. Everything meaningful you will ever do, starting a business, writing a book, stepping into ministry, raising a family, walking in purpose, will demand that you do hard things. And the people who win are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who decide that purpose is worth the pain. Discomfort is the friction that sharpens your focus. When everything is easy, you don't grow. You don't change. You don't adapt. But when it gets hard, when it gets tight, when it gets uncomfortable, that's when you dig deeper. That's when you discover what you're truly made of. That's when you realize the power of resilience that's been inside you all along. The The seasons that grow you the most are rarely the ones that feel good. The ones that stretch your faith, challenge your assumptions, and force you to rely on something bigger than yourself. That's where transformation lives. That's where purpose is forged. That's where destiny takes root, not in comfort, but in the discomfort that demands commitment. Every giant you're called to slay will first intimidate you. Every new room you're called to enter will first feel too big. That's part of the process. Discomfort signals that you've reached the edge of what you know. And now, it's time to expand. The presence of discomfort doesn't mean you're in the wrong place. It often means you're right where you're supposed to be. Sometimes the very thing you're running from is the thing that's going to unlock your next season. That difficult conversation, that bold step, that uncomfortable decision, it may be the very move that opens the floodgates of favor, but you'll never know unless you stop resisting and start responding. If you wait to feel ready, you'll wait forever. Destiny doesn't come when you feel prepared. It comes when you're willing to be uncomfortable in pursuit of what you've been called to. The discomfort is not a delay, it's the doorway. And every step you take through it leads you closer to the version of yourself that you were born to become. You don't need another confirmation, you need courage. You don't need to eliminate fear, you need to take action in the presence of it. Discomfort won't kill you, settling will. Regret is far more painful than any challenge you'll face on the path to purpose. So, if you're feeling stretched, challenged, uneasy, good. It means you're growing. It means you're moving. It means you're alive. Success does not respond to your wishes, your dreams, or your good intentions. It doesn't bow to vision boards, declarations, or well-crafted affirmations spoken in the mirror. It submits to one thing and one thing only: action. You can mean well, plan well, and even pray well, but until you move, success remains unmoved. It is not seduced by what you hope for, it is commanded by what you do. So many people live with the illusion that intention alone holds power. They believe that meaning to start is equal to starting. That wanting to be disciplined is equal to being disciplined. That imagining success is the same as building it. But desire without execution is a mirage. It gives you the feeling of progress with none of the substance. It makes you feel productive while keeping you in the exact same place. Intention is a seed, but only action turns it into fruit. You can plant as many seeds in your mind as you want, but until you water them with action, nothing will grow. Too many people confuse potential with performance. They celebrate the idea instead of building the infrastructure to support it. But ideas, no one becomes great because they intended to be. They become great because they showed up consistently when others made excuses. They acted when it wasn't convenient. They moved forward when nothing around them looked promising. Intention is passive. Action is aggressive. It doesn't wait for a green light, it creates the green light. Action doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for your mood to line up with your goals. It shows up even when motivation is missing. While intentions sit comfortably in your imagination, action gets up, gets dirty, and does the work. It pushes through resistance. It silences doubt. It overcomes delay. Success respects that. You don't need more time to think. You need to start doing. The problem isn't that you don't know what to do, is that you haven't made the decision to do it. Intention is easy, it's clean, it's comfortable. Action is messy. It requires energy, it exposes your weaknesses, but it's the only path to real, lasting results. Everyone says they want success, but few are willing to pay the price. They want the outcome without the process. They want the fruit without planting, watering, and pruning. But success cannot be hacked. It can't be tricked. It watches what you consistently do and responds accordingly. Not sometimes, not occasionally, but with steady, daily action. There is a generation of dreamers being held hostage by their own intentions. They think vision is enough, that potential is enough. But vision without movement becomes regret. Potential without execution turns into frustration. You don't get to talk your way into success. You have to walk your way into it. Every level you want to reach demands a version of you that acts, not just one that dreams. Your next level will not be accessed by imagination. It will be unlocked by implementation. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is not bridged by hoping harder. It's bridged by working smarter and moving faster. You must discipline your life around action. Build a bias for doing. Make movement your default setting. Train yourself to respond with decisions, not delays. When you feel hesitation creeping in, act. When fear whispers, not yet, act. When comfort says, maybe tomorrow, act. The more you act, the less power. Success isn't emotional, it's strategic. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't care if you're waiting on the perfect moment. The only language it understands is effort. The only thing it salutes is follow through. And it keeps track of your decisions long after your feelings have faded. You can lie to yourself with good intentions, but you can't fake action. Action tells the truth. It reveals whether you really want it or not, because if you did, you'd already be moving. You wouldn't still be waiting for a better idea, a better time, a better mood. You'd be in the trenches, building, working, refining. Intentions are internal. They live in your head and heart. Action is external. It puts your hands to work. It applies pressure to your thoughts and brings them into the physical world. And only what exists in the physical world can produce real results. Until then, your intentions are just silent prayers with no power. The scoreboard of life doesn't count what you meant to do. It only reflects what you did. It measures your moves, not your motives. It tracks your habits, not your hopes. And if you want to win, you have to put points on the board, not with declarations, but with discipline. Not with dreams, but with direction and delivery. Success doesn't respond to explanations. It responds to execution. You can justify your delay, explain your fears, and rationalize your distractions. But success doesn't care. It only yields to the person who shows up with consistency and courage. The one who does what others only talk about doing. The harsh truth is that many people will die with good intentions. They'll be buried with plans they never acted on, gifts they never used, books they never wrote, businesses they never launched. Not because they lacked the ability, but because they mistook desire for action and thought wanting it was the same as working for it. Nothing shifts until you do. Nothing builds until you move. Nothing succeeds until you act. Intention might feel safe, but it produces nothing. It keeps you stuck in cycles of planning, pondering, and procrastinating. Action, however, breaks those cycles. It initiates change, it puts force behind your faith, and creates the momentum that intention never will. Your obedience is not just about you. It's bigger than your comfort, your plans, or even your personal success. Your obedience is tied to other people's deliverance, their direction, their destiny. When you move in alignment with what God has called you to do, you open doors that other people are waiting to walk through. You become the vessel through which their breakthrough is delivered, not because you're perfect, but because you are willing. There are people assigned to your life, people whose answers are locked up inside your yes. Your decision to obey doesn't just bless you, it releases something into the atmosphere that gives others permission to rise. The world is waiting for the manifestation of your assignment. When you delay your obedience, you delay someone else's freedom. When you obey quickly, you accelerate.
Great workout, guys. And full body explosion. Ooh, you saw the pain? Ooh-wee. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna do it for you. That hit the whole body, that hit everything. That gets you right. You know what I'm saying? But you know what it is, man. I always appreciate you guys. I won't lie to you. I'm fatigued, leg exhausted, day 30, and that full body explosion, non-stop. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you know what it is. So just stay consistent, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, keep your mind focused. You know what I'm saying? Some days you're gonna want to, some days you're not. You know what I'm saying? Today my mind tried to debate with me like, oh man, let's just do a little, let's just do a little. I'm like, heck no. You know what I'm saying? I thought in my head, I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, if you don't do that full body, quit playing on me, the thought. I'm like, Because you know when you don't do something you're supposed to do, you get that feeling inside. And that's that, that's you condemn yourself to lower it. Yeah, you know you're supposed to be handling your business. I don't care how you feel, do that. And I don't like that feeling. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I think Warren Buffett's friend, Harvey, whatever, Munger, you know what I'm saying? How you be talking about running from pain. I run from that feeling, that condemned feeling. It's like a feeling of shame to the Lord, like I shame, like I let it, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to feel that. You know what I mean? I don't like the pain, but that shame of letting people, you know what I'm saying, letting your loved ones, something that you want to do good for, let them down. I don't like that feeling. So I make sure I don't feel that. You know what I'm saying? So was my mind trying to negotiate? It's like, bruh, you lost all negotiating leverage. You know what I'm saying? If you do what you was talking about, man, get up out of here. So I had to push through it, and that's what I did. And I'm happy that I did that, you know what I'm saying? So you already know what it is. These minds gonna try to negotiate you down. Don't even listen to them. Just push that to the side. That's how the ego, the mind, whatever that is, whatever you want to call it. But shoot, we did push through it, and we're gonna keep pushing through it. Tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? It's another day and another day to bless ourselves. So, with that being said, you guys, you already know what it is. I definitely appreciate you guys working out with me, sending you power, love, strength, and straight focus. And you already know, together, we can do anything.